What's up, guys? Quart'e Sapp here, DK Kirkland, here at Snap and Clear Podcast.
Wanted to give a special shout out to our main man, Cecil Scarborough, VFL, allowing us to use his spot at Ace Insurance Consultants. Appreciate you, my man.
That's where I wanna be.
Let's dive right into it. So, we've been working on this for a year. We were game planning about this for over a year. We had to slow down because you went through the buying a house, purchasing your first property.
Facts.
Congrats to you, because that's big.
I appreciate it. What's crazy is because it gets even way deeper than just purchasing that crib, bro. It even kind of goes back even further because that's been my whole mindset. I've always wanted to jump into real estate. Like, after I retired from playing ball, bro, that was like one of my biggest ways. I was like, I've seen people acquire wealth through purchasing real estate. I've seen my own family do it, you feel me, and have success. So I'm like, that was my whole mission, and just taking on my interest and trying to learn from different people how to acquire wealth. Thankfully, had some people in my corner to feel me, push me in the right direction. And, things aligned, you feel me, which led to a blessing, bro, and kind of set me up. So now I'm in a better position. Now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. You feel me? I was in Indianapolis, growing up, born and raised there, but figured the South would be just better for me, long term. You get to that point where you like, all right, I got to move to not just where my family is, but what's the best environment for me to be successful.
Take care of yourself.
Facts.
Yeah. So, like I said, we've been working on it for a year. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of hurt. I was like, dang, I felt like it was like one of those ideas that could have potentially grew into something that died.
Right.
But hindsight, looking at a year afterwards, I'm looking at it, it's all about timing.
Yeah.
And everything happens for a reason. We basically started up from a sketch, just communicating and going on Fiverr and having somebody take our ideas and put it into an image.
Right.
And we liked it, and we ended up with this awesome craft, and it's very clean cut, neat. And we've built a website, we've built, credibility behind it, and we rolling, and we finally got to where we wanted to be.
Facts.
So just even the breakdown of what Snap and Clear is, the biggest thing for us too, we play football.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people play football. A lot of people play sports in general.
Right.
And
right.
The concept behind Snap and Clear is moving on to the next snap.
Right.
The next play.
Yep.
If it's football, basketball, volleyball, softball, whatever it is,
True.
You have to move on. You can't dwell on that. And that translates to life. We've talked about it. We've both had our Snap and Clear moments in our lives.
Facts.
I believe a lot of people have had a Snap and Clears in their lives.
Exactly.
If you haven't had one yet, you eventually
gonna catch it.
You gonna
Facts.
Eventually,
Facts.
you're gonna have it, and the biggest thing is, as we're growing to be men and what we want to be and what we strive to be, it's all about how you approach it and how you handle it.
Right.
You're gonna keep pushing forward, and you're gonna cower down and accept it.
That's real.
Yeah, so I'll let you go ahead and take the ropes and explain, what Snap and Clear means to you.
No, that's well said, bro. Honestly, because Snap and Clear, it's funny because we played for a couple of defensive coordinators when we was at UT.
Nice.
Jancic, Bob Shute. Of course, Jeremy Pruitt. He was the head coach and defensive coordinator at the same time, but. Oh, Coach Ansley, you feel me? That's another one. I couldn't forget one.
It's a lot. That's not a good thing, but it's a lot. It is a good thing because it's adversity. Because you had to figure out how to evolve. If it was a 3-4 defense, 4-3 defense,
True.
Different weightlifting coach had different training methods. You had to, it's part of life.
They all got different styles, but they all got different quotes. You feel me? But Bob Shute got high-pitched voice, you feel me? Real one, though. Always had strong quotes.
Yeah.
And his one was Snap and Clear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how you handle sudden change. You feel me? Sudden change, for those that don't know, when you're on defense. And offense is out there, they moving down the field, right? And then somebody fumble. or a quarterback throw an interception. Sun change. Everybody on the bench, they grab your helmets, and then you out there, you feel me? And you got to manage the situation. And you try to have a right attitude about it because you're trying to prevent them from scoring when they got all the momentum. You got to be able to put out the fire.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that was one thing as far as like life that I equated a lot. Like going through my journey, I was like, oh, okay, like I got to be a firefighter basically. Like situations come up, I'm primed for these situations.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like those, like what we always talk about, like being a trained assassin. You feel me? Being on defense, like we practice these moments to be ready for these type of situations.
Yeah.
So as I continue to progress in life, I was like, okay, how am I approaching different situations? How is my mindset? How will I look? Do I look like I'm ready for this situation? And that plays a big role into how I execute. Like preparation is everything, bro. Like,
Definitely.
And that's what I've really learned in this journey. So like snapping clear is that, for me, that embodies that whole mindset right there. Like, like you saying, that's a clean image. Like that's literally like coming as my best self. Like that's what snapping clear means to me.
That's a fact. For me, I would say obviously since we played ball. We came in the Knoxville 2015. We've been here for a while.
Yeah.
My first snapping clear, I had never had any injuries. So, especially playing linebacker,
Nice.
like, I felt like I was invisible.
You supposed to be that dude.
I'm like, that's the first question people ask you, like, what position you play? And you're like, okay, I play linebacker.
Right.
How many shoulder injuries you have? None?
Mm-hmm.
None? I'm like, yeah, I haven't had any shoulder injuries. Yeah. So obviously, you know where I'm getting at. When I tore my ACL, that was a big eye opener for me, especially being behind Jalen Reeves-Maven and coming in, and wanting to make an impact immediately.
Right.
Seeing you freshman year, seeing what you could do.
Thanks.
I'm like, hey, DK balling, freshman All-American. We can turn this thing up. I got to sit, 1 year, a little bit longer. I played freshman year. At that time, it was 4 or 5 games. You could still redshirt.
Right.
So, like, at that point, Jones at the time, it's like, hey, you're over that amount. We want to redshirt you.
Right.
But, after that following year, I'm like, hey, I'm ready to play. And tore my ACL on kickoff return.
Right.
Miami of Ohio. Never forget that.
2016?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never forget that shit. Because Colton Jumper.
My boy Tutu.
Yeah, Colton Jumper.
Shout out Colt. He just got married, by the way. That's my guy.
Ben Dillon told me about that.
Facts.
Kickoff return. A lot of people don't know about kickoff return. Kickoff return is a bloodbath.
It's serious now.
Special teams.
It gets you caught up in these trenches, boy.
It's the worst. It's like one of the worst special teams ever. And it's kind of crazy that the NFL is going to that shifting of how they're lining up now.
Right.
And people are upset about it, but it does take care of your body.
I think it's madness. It's trash. It's not entertaining.
It's not entertaining, but
that's why they're making running backs out there, because you got to look for your little angles.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of complaints about it.
Mostly special teams is made up of mostly linebackers and safeties.
Right.
Because they can run kickoff return. Linebackers play boundary center and field center.
Mm-hmm.
On kickoff, the R5 and the L5, the fastest dudes on kickoff.
Screaming down the field.
And you got to backpedal 15 yards and absorb. The coaches know it's hard. Everybody knew it was hard. But I went out there, Coach Digg was like, hey, you up next series and you starting. I was like, get my mind right. Colton Jumper comes up and to me, he goes, hey, I need you to get me a rep on kickoff return.
Hit that kickoff return.
I said, bro, no, I can't, man. I'm about to get ready for the next series. Like, even though we receiving the ball, I still got time.
Facts.
I'm still trying to get my
He
mental
said, help
right.
a brother out, I'm dying.
Yeah, I basically went out there, and before I even could turn my hips around perpendicular, guy was on me, and I planted and gave out on me. Didn't really know what it was. I actually remember Elliot Berry standing right over me. He's like, you good? I was like, Nah. Between from getting to the sideline from the field to the sideline, it swelled up like crazy. But that was like my snap and clear moment because I knew I wasn't invisible. I started eating better, taking care of myself better, and knowing and practicing it with a different mentality, knowing that it could all end so quickly. And it could be taken away from you. And that translates to life, translates to work. You could be fired the next day. You can be replaced.
Man.
And every day ain't promised. So my eating habits, what I went through with surgery, I went to Dr. Andrews down there in Pensacola and got surgery down there. And just did overall just better for me.
Well, I'll stop you real quick because a lot of folks don't know Dr. Andrews best in the business. Down there in Pensacola, the Andrews Institute. I actually went down there myself. He helped me out a lot, man. Got stem cell treatment from him that really kind of took me to that next step, after retiring, bro. Changed my whole body. I was able to lose weight, get back in shape. That's whatever. I got into running now, you feel me? Doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Getting to yoga, so definitely thankful to Dr. Andrews. I wanted to make sure we gave him a special shout out for sure.
Without a doubt. I don't know how old he is at this point, but he was pretty old when he's still doing it. He had a really good guy. He was Alabama's team doctor and
Alabama and Auburn, I believe, team doctor at the time.
Correct. And NFL team doctor. Cleveland Browns, maybe?
Maybe Cleveland Browns. I know he was working with Lyle Kane at the time. He was also working with Alabama.
He has like a memorabilia wall in his office of just all the players from bull riders to baseball players that did Tommy Johns, because that's what he got really famous of doing, Tommy John.
Right.
But just after that whole thing, I just looked at a lot of different things and approached a lot of different things differently.
Right.
Rolling into that year, we opened up with Georgia Tech.
Right.
Coming off ACL surgery, like wing T.
It's nerve-wracking.
They just cut.
Facts.
So it was a mental battle with that in itself. So that was definitely what my snap and clear in. Like I said, every day ain't promised, every play ain't promised. So just make the most of it as you can.
What's crazy is I learned so much from you during that situation, because at the time I felt like we were supposed to be out there together a lot more. You feel me? And I was passionate about that because I felt like we came in, we was both working hard. We was really gonna make anything happen for the team, you feel me, for the betterment of the team at that time.
Yeah. Dog, we got pictured when the first day I was cleared to run in my green jersey.
Facts.
I think I still got that up on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I got cleared, bro. I was so happy just to run, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was real big for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, that's what snap and clear means to me.
Yeah.
And the expectations is what we trying to create here is a safe environment for post players and players that are playing currently.
Right.
You and I had discussions about this, and I've talked to Hayden about this before the show. My biggest thing is if we could help anybody that's going through it right now, what we've overcome 4 years ago, any new players that are trying to make a team, a 53-man roster, or had a medical history that can't play anymore. And, they 23, 24 years old, and they got so much life to live, and they embarrassed, a lot of emotions flaring around, and they too scared to go hometown. They got a degree, and they trying to figure out themselves.
Right.
Hey, people have been through that. We've been through that.
Exactly. You're not going through that alone. Speaking through it from personal experience, I've dealt with identity crisis firsthand and knowing how that feels going back home and not knowing how to adjust. You feel me? And being just Darrin Kirkland Jr. You feel me? And not being in bright lights. You feel me? Or on, in front of 100,000 fans. That's an adjustment that I feel like as athletes a lot of people deal with, and it's okay. You feel me? It's not a fall for grace. That was a special moment that we all got to experience. That is probably a special chapter in all of our families' lives. Yeah, I've tried to do a better job of showing gratitude during those moments. You know what I'm saying?
Be appreciative.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people don't really understand understand that. I think, especially from the fans' perspective, all they see is, people out there or kids out there rather, or adults if you're at the professional level playing.
Right.
They don't think about the aspect of outside of Quart'e Sapp, Darrin Kirkland, or any other big name, what they have to deal with outside the field, off the court, off of a baseball field, or whatever the case may be, because
Facts.
you're a human being at the end of the day, and
Life be lifing.
life is gonna life. Them taxes is gonna be there.
Man, and situations come up and you got to figure out, oh, how I'm going to deal with this.
Yeah,
But then you're like, all right, then I have to actually manage this situation. And that's what's the most important. You got to make the main thing the main thing.
yeah.
You feel me?
And I tell people, so like they ask me, I've been asked multiple times in corporate America. Oh, we both work in corporate America.
Right.
And as far as what was the biggest adjustment? And I'm like, I think one of the biggest adjustments that's funny to me is not being able to just to go down the hallway and be like, hey, doc, I don't feel good. Can you give me some
And got to
medicine?
book my own doctor's appointment.
Yeah, you got to
That's a
go
fact.
find your own,
Crazy.
your local, somebody that you comfortable with to tell them, I got these issues or I'm sick, I need some medicine prescribed.
Facts.
That, anything from granted, to be able to go down to the locker room, like, hey, doc, I got a stomach ache.
You
Or
kidding me?
I got a cold. You got to go through a whole process to get there. And, that, for example.
Bro, I had 11 surgeries in college.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I had 11 surgeries after school, you know how much debt I would be in, bro?
Yeah.
Like, that's a luxury that I didn't realize that until probably a few years ago. For real. Because I'm thinking about how blessed my body is. You feel me? Now, I'm able to move. Bro, I ran 50 miles this summer. You feel me? From June to August. You feel me? Felt great. You feel me? Of course, stuff hurt. You feel me? Because running on pavement ain't fun. It ain't forgiving.
Shin splints and stuff.
But hey, the fact that I was able to do it after everything that I've experienced, most people would have been like, I ain't finna run, do nothing. I ain't finna be lifting. But hey, I got to keep it moving and pushing. But I'm thankful my body is at least at that point to be able to do that, now. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Second thing I would say is kind of funny too. Food. So obviously professional level and collegiate level is two different things, but it's the same thing. Collegiate level, we had Smokies, we had the nutrition bar, we could grab whatever we could grab, incidents of people getting caught on camera taking loads of water off to the truck.
Gatorades.
We pull up to a meeting, we got camera footage of us getting Gatorades, but we doing that to stay hydrated.
Candy camera.
Yeah, to make ourselves, to get those calories and stuff like that a day and be able to play at a high level. You got out of college and you get out of pros. I mean, NFL, we had, Titans, we had a cafeteria, but it's closed. You don't got to access all to that time.
Right.
Man, eating 5,000, 4,500 calories a day, that's expensive.
OD.
That's
a check.
Groceries are expensive.
Where you shopping at? You at Kroger? You at Whole Foods? You at Trader Joe's?
And you
what level you at?
You doing it.
That's different checks.
You doing it, and you're doing it by yourself.
That's a fact. You're not doing it on nobody else's dime but your own.
And you're doing it, and it starts. You're like, okay, well, this dozen of eggs is X amount of dollars. I know I'm gonna eat. I need 3 eggs in the morning for breakfast. Blah blah blah. It start adding up. So it's those situations that people wouldn't even think about, that the transition from playing ball and not playing ball would go in effect, because during that time, we did have a great opportunity to be blessed. Both scholarship players, we didn't come out with any debt, which that in itself is an opportunity that a lot of people don't get to have.
Right.
Just having no school debt is big.
Thanks.
And understanding that now is big. So, but during the time we're having that gracious opportunity of nutrition, doctors at our disposal, other people in college that don't have that are learning those and creating those habits already.
Right. Real talk.
And then, so in itself is it's a work through.
And that's really one thing that's very important, because adjusting to life after, you coming in with a lot of, you could say, early to career type people that have certain exposure, internships, externships, traveling abroad, doing all these things. We was focused on one track mind, one focus on our sport, trying to be the best we could be. So now we get in those environments, they definitely had a leg up on us. We've had some experiences that we've had that are also way different, similar situations, but that's definitely a different dynamic that I've noticed, like from early to career type people, So it's one thing that I've had a struggle with, honestly. You feel me? Like, and this mainly is the soft skills, especially like when you in a corporate environment. Like that's way, way different for somebody to like experience that's never done it before. You've, like me, bro, before I jumped into corporate America, I had never had a job before.
Correct. Same here. I had
Like
a little job, like working in a garage shop, but not a 9-to-5 corporate teams meeting.
Clock in, clock out. You kidding me?
And it's funny that
Like,
you say that, because that in itself is an adjustment, because corporate America do like athletes because of the structure,
right?
And we've been in structure a lot of our lives.
Exactly.
But you and I have both talked about, which is kind of funny, is the 9-to-5 life, efficiency.
Yes.
You get in at 9-to-5, you get at a 9, they expect you, if you not finish, or if you finish, to sit there to 5.
Exactly.
Regardless how fast you do your work.
Yeah.
And that was like one.
It was different.
Yeah.
There's some idle time here.
Yeah,
some kind of way.
And with us, it's like, hey, I'm waking up, I gotta eat breakfast, I got class. As soon as I get class, I got 30 minutes to walk over, I gotta get taped.
Yes.
And I get taped, I got 5 minutes listen to music, maybe look at something on social media. I'm heading out to practice.
Yes.
After that, I'm eating dinner. I'm to the crib. So I can get like an hour game time or whatever.
That's true.
And you got this, like, you got 9-to-5, you got your allotment for the week, and you got your task for the day.
Yes.
I'm finished with my task, and it's 3:30,
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
That's hilarious, bro. I was having a conversation with that with a colleague, honestly. Like, I was like, playing college sports in general, not even just college football, college sports is the closest thing to being in the military. 100%. Your schedule is jam-packed. You have all this responsibility that you're like, no full schedule. You don't have any other idle time to do anything else.
Yeah.
So then you jump into corporate America, right? Where you're mostly responsible for how you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can roll into their day. Some people start their day hot. You feel me? Some people start at 5:30 in the morning. Some people start their day at 9 and just cruise into the day. Some people cruise in at about 11, closer to lunchtime. But they'll handle some other things, prior to, but still, and then they'll leave early or whatever. It just depends on how they flow of the day goes. But there's some idle time in between.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't used to that. Yeah. So I've caught myself like, all right, I'm just gonna work. And I've caught myself in service environments and different industries where I'm just gonna work. But that's not cool, because then you a robot, you a machine. Like, nobody, they want to have some social aspect to the job. There always is. You feel me? Which that, whether that's with your team, your actual company, or that's networking with other people to continue to grow your business. So that's how I've continued to learn the aspect of, because that's really where it's done. Like, everything is relationship space. Yeah. And that's what I've learned, bro, from my whole story from beginning. Like, I got recruited based off a relationship. My guy, Steve Wiltfong, which I believe is some big time recruiter now, bro, out there doing his thing, but he was responsible for like 24/7 sports at the time from like my region. You feel me? I reached out to him my sophomore year, bro. I wasn't getting no traction, recruited, nothing. Indianapolis is a basketball town. Indiana's a basketball state through and through. You feel me? Football players don't get no love like that. They do now. They wasn't getting no love like that. You feel me? I was like, Pops, my dad, Darrin Kirkland Jr., I need somebody to record my games so I can send this film out. Because Steve Wilfong was reposting, and I'm seeing people getting offered, and he's reposting it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to DM my film once we get it. Balled out sophomore year, bro. Steve Wilfong gets a hold of my film. That's literally how I got my first offer. You feel me? So everything is relations-based. That's one thing that I've really had to realize about myself. That hustle don't ever die. Like, you always got to remember who you are in situations. And that's like you talking about snapping clear moments. Like, that was huge for me. I'm like, even going back, that was in high school before I even got recruited. And I ended with 38 offers, bro, in high school. From freshman and sophomore year, not having none.
Yeah.
It was from that relationship.
That's
You feel
big.
me?
That's
Nah,
big.
for real.
It's like I said, it's an adjustment. Just quick little funny thing. You know John Ewert.
Yeah.
Everybody know John Ewert.
Big John, big VFL.
Yeah,
my
shout
guy.
out to John. So he kind of groomed me for corporate America and met me
Yeah.
and try to help me get through the stuff. And so this is, I think, when I was working in Atlanta, assistant project manager at the time in construction. And, I take notes regardless. We always take notes in meetings.
Facts.
And
Football habit.
this is hilarious. This is so funny, bro. I actually tweeted about it. It was crazy. I'm going into my meeting, and then I take my regular notes, blah, blah, blah. So Friday, we have a corporate meeting internally, everybody. My higher up, the senior project manager, she goes, Quart'e, why did you not fill in for your minute or your meeting minutes? I was like, I did. I put 55 minutes. That's how long we met for.
You like, I thought
And
that was
everybody's
straightforward.
eyes just looked. He's like, do you not know what minutes are? I was like,
then he's like, oh, I'm cooked.
I was like,
Immediately
no.
cooked.
He was like, how do you not know? And you're assistant project. He goes, where are the notes? I said, well, I got the notes right here.
There you go.
I called John. I said, John, you telling me during my internship in college, you ain't never told me what meeting minutes are? He goes, nah, that's an old term.
They
I
hit
said,
you with a throwback.
I was like,
that was, you know what's crazy? That was a test. You know, it is what it is, bro.
dog, I was so embarrassed. I was like, why couldn't you just say notes then? Because I got notes. I got them right here. Like everything. I was paying attention. I got notes. Who meeting minutes as notes? Just say notes.
It's hilarious.
But that's like
they was probably calling you the scribe and all type of stuff.
Dog,
that was definitely a thing that I had to continue to progress and learn. You know, corporate America got an acronym for everything.
Abbreviation for everything.
Everything. And I'm like, okay.
Like, what is
So
that?
when I'm jumping into it, I'm like, I don't know what anybody's talking about.
Yeah, you don't want to ask. Cause you know
and you don't want to ask because
Yeah.
you don't want to be that guy. And it's not even an intelligence thing.
It's just like abbreviation.
I don't know what this acronym means.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask because it's going to make me sound stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is what it is. You feel me?
Shifting from the corporate America, what would you say from you graduate? When did you graduate? You left 20.
I graduated in 2018. Unfortunately, yeah.
You left when 2019 or 2018? No, because I left before, right?
You left 2019. I played my last season 2018, graduated 2018, but then retired 2019 in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that whole situation, just to kind of go into it further. So yeah, graduated 2018, played the last season as a graduate. I went to Dr. Andrews that winter. I had surgery on my shoulder and then my knee. Started getting the stem cell treatment to try to have an opportunity for the draft, bro. This just didn't work out. You know, I ended up actually going back to Indianapolis to see another doctor just to get an opinion. This doctor was with Ortho Indy at the time. You feel me? And he was working with the medical staff for the Colts. So for those who don't know, Indianapolis is a big town for the combine. Every year they host that event. And so this was a very good medical staff. So I really valued their opinion. And they did some previous work for me when I was little. So I went there and I was like, Doc, what'd you think? I gave him all my x-rays, everything that I had got from Dr. Andrews done. And bro, he really was like, hey, Darrin, I'm gonna shoot you straight. Like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at this and I will medically red flag you and you wouldn't even have a chance to compete at the combine.
Would you say that was a more pivotal point in your life as far as knowing the realization of coming to an end of what you truly love to do?
100%, because you of course you have feelings about something, or you have a bad game, you feel me? But you can always play another game. You know what I'm saying? That was a situation. It was like, whoa, this dude told me like I shouldn't play no more. Like, and I really need to think about that and like the longevity of my life, you know? And at the time, bro, I'm like 22, 23,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, that's a lot to really like think about and process after all the success that I have had, you know, in my life. So I'm thinking about, bro, I don't want to be like beat up and broken up, because of course you hear the stories. I don't want to be those guys. I want to be able to run with my kids. You feel me? You got a son now.
Yeah.
You feel me? You know how important it is to be able to just to do
move.
stuff, to be able to move
and do stuff. Yeah.
You know, and that was a fear of mine, you know, as it came down to the end. I was like, so I had to get back to like what was important to me, and I had to reconsider like what was success as far as playing the game of football.
And how many surgeries did you have?
In total, I had 11, you know, which was real tough.
Yeah.
I've had surgeries to both my knees, bro, shoulder. I tore my pec in college.
I remember your pec because you were early enrollee. You came in the spring,
Right.
and I remember when I first got there, you were still recovering from that.
Right.
Because what was you like? You did like 405 or something like that, and it just gave out.
Bro, what's crazy?
It was a crazy story because I remember everybody was talking about it because you were doing so well, and you tore your pec.
Was crazy
because we had Lawson. You remember we had Lawson. We didn't really warm up
Had
like
Dave
that.
Lawson. Dave Lawson, you were a real one. I still love you, brother. But I was a strong as shit freshman, brother. You know, I was U.S. Army All-American coming in, highly touted. You know, I wanted to compete. I was actually working out with my man, Mean Vereen. My guy, Corey Vereen, played defensive end with us, bro. He ended up playing in the league for a few years. Great guy, great brother. He was spotting me at the time. And I don't know what it was, bro. I was just young. You feel me? I'm 18. That's like my third or fourth workout there, and it's upper body day. I'll never forget this, bro, because I always tell my dad, you know, when you on surgery, you know, when you loopy on the surgery meds and you just be telling stories, I never forget. 50 Cent was playing, and it was like, you know how we do.
Yeah.
Like, just vibing, upper body day. Come on now, that's what we do. You feel me? So 405 on the bar, just like my fourth set, crushing it. 3-4 reps in, dog. If everybody's around me at this point, because like you said, I'm the freshman. You know what I mean? And the whole weight room is around me. We vibing. Bro, it felt like somebody was standing over me and socked me right in my chest, dog.
Yeah.
Like on my left chest. And I'm like, oh, thankfully, like I said, everybody was around me. They caught the weight. Everything was straight. You feel me? I didn't know. I was more in like a shock situation. You feel me? But thankfully went over to the trainer. Shout out to the doctors. Dr. Mathian ended up doing that surgery, bro. It got me together. That was a real detailed surgery because it tore my whole pec off the bone, my bicep tendon, actually, and curled up to the inside of my sternum.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So that's some stuff that I experienced right as I got to school.
Yeah.
I missed my entire
Spring ball, yeah.
You feel me?
Bro.
But that's what's crazy, bro, when you realize I'm a very protected and blessed individual, I feel like, because even in that spring, shout out my guy Larry Knight. You remember Big Larry?
Yeah. He went to Georgia State. I don't know where
I believe he's at Temple right now.
Really?
Actually, coaching linebackers.
That's a good guy. I remember.
I sat with him.
Dang.
He was a GA at the time. Our linebacker coach Stigpen, bro. He sat with me every single day, and we watched practice every single day. And then when I got to UT, bro, I don't know if Thornton still does this, but they tested me or gave me some kind of test. I don't know if they give this to all freshmen still. You can actually, it's still online somewhere. They tested me for, I believe it's an idiotic memory, which is a version of a photographic memory. You feel me? So having that additional time where I was reviewing film, understanding the plays, how the defense worked, I believe that's the additional, more than anything, to doing the reps. Like, I saw other people doing it correctly, especially like Jalen Reese-Maybin or Kenny Bynum, who was also older. You feel me?
Exodus.
Exactly. So I learned the right steps with the coaching. All right, this is what you're not supposed to do. So you feel me? That was the whole reason I had a chance to play my freshman year, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's how I literally learned and absorbed everything.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because I just wanted to attest to that, like what we've been through. For me, the hardest time for me, when you and I spoke about this, was that transition out.
Facts.
Man, it was tough. Like with you and I, we came in the era, no NIL,
Zero NIL, no bread.
no bread,
Well, that cost of attendance. We was getting,
cost of attendance.
for those who don't know, NCAA passed a rule that was like midway through 2015. Players were starting to get cost of attendance. It was about $500 a month, which I ain't gonna lie to you. You work 40-hour job week and you get $500 a month. I'm not saying a week. I'm talking month. We didn't have no bread.
Yeah.
Compared to what they got today,
Yeah.
we didn't have no bread. But we made it work. 4 for 4s, leading the dining hall, making it happen.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Facts. We came from that era without no NIL. We came from an era that, you couldn't transfer in the same conference. If you transferred in the same conference, you had to sit out a year.
True.
And with that, it was stipulations. The coaches wouldn't even let you transfer to certain schools. They had certain schools that were off the list. So either you had to sit out a year or go to JUCO, then come back.
True.
And then you didn't have anybody to tell you couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest kicker for me was obviously the transition when we came from, obviously you said we had Janzik, we had Bob Shoup as defensive coordinator, and then we had Pruitt.
With Coach Ansley.
Yeah, and I didn't get to play with Ansley. So I was only there for Pruitt.
True.
And the biggest transition for me was we had obviously the Florida incident.
Right.
And I was based off of what a decision if I was going to leave or not.
Right.
And
At that time, that's 2019.
yeah,
Correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
2018 going to 19, right?
Yeah, right,
So
right,
I'm
right.
like, what should I do? I don't want everybody to look at me and view me as I was the problem, because I was on hush mode the whole time, because there was a lot of details that the media didn't know about, and it was reflecting on my character. At this time, we had 3 different coordinators, 3 different weightlifting coaches. This is the best I've ever felt. I was only healthy linebacker through that whole spring.
Facts.
And I didn't, I came in at 215. I'm at 235 playing in a 3-4 now. I'm feeling like great. I didn't put a
You
lot
was
of
235 our last year?
felt good.
Jesus.
I felt
You were
good.
massive.
I felt good.
You were massive.
I put in a lot of work and time and energy on it
Action
because
figure.
I wanted to play.
Yeah.
You had you, Batuli, Ignat, and I'm
Right.
thinking, Pruitt liked those guys, those bigger guys that are more aggressive. I'll be honest, I wasn't one of those aggressive guys like that, overly aggressive.
Right.
Everybody has their own different playing style. So I wanted to make sure I was in that ballpark when you guys returned, to make sure I could be able to compete. And
With a
so,
new coach.
with a new coach, with that being said,
Right.
and learning all the positions at the time, the dime money and whatever the Mike and Will at the time. And that transition out, I ended up betting on myself and leaving. And, hindsight, all that looking back, I should have definitely just transferred and screwed what everybody else was going to perspective outside view,
Right.
and did what was best for me. Can't live in the past, but that transition of going to the Titans, getting called on draft day, and I remember getting a call on the second day. I'm like, whoa, this is actually something that can actually come forth.
Yeah.
Coach Ty, linebacker coach, love him to death. He went out to bat for me. Make a long story short, they end up taking another linebacker out of West Virginia.
Right.
And Coach Ty was like, you in the top, this is the second day of the draft. He's like, you in the top 3 linebackers we want.
Mm.
I'm like, oh shit, this second day, we're 4th round, we cooking. Like, this is something, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody that told me I couldn't do something like that.
You in that mode.
So their pick comes up, they pick the linebacker. I'm like, oh,
Right.
tough.
Business.
Ty called me immediately. It's like, show up to rookie mini camp, you're gonna be good. Beat out one of the older guys.
Right.
And I really want you. Show up to rookie mini camp, ball out, and compete and show that what it's worth. They cut me on rookie mini camp. Yeah. It was tough because it was Mother's Day weekend. Mother's Day weekend is rookie mini camp.
Man.
And
it
was a whole discrepancy on that, just the confusion and everything. So with that being said, I came back to Knoxville. Right. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So Nashville, obviously 2.5 hours. Came back here, and I was working. I was working a labor job, $15 an hour, carrying a gallon of water, doing material distribution at A.G. Hines. And it was the most humbling thing I have had thus far in my life, because at that time it was fresh. Everybody knew who I was. I was a big dude carrying materials, bricks, cement, and loading people's trucks up. And they're like, aren't you blah, blah, blah? I'm like, yeah, I still got to work. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Blue collar.
So fast forward through that.
Yeah.
I've worked out at this point for the Titans 3 times.
And to have you come back.
Yes.
And they saying stay ready.
Yes. So I've worked out for them 3 times. This is exactly why I stayed in Knoxville. I was scared to leave. I'm like, if they call me, I can get signed.
I can be close.
I know what I mean. You can hop on a plane anytime, but I'm like, I'm right up the street. I'm gonna go over. They called me 3 times. At the 3rd time, like, at this point, I'm like, hey, what am I doing wrong? They're like, nothing. I asked the scouts, like, hey, what can I do better the next time? Is it my weight and my drops, something so I can correct? Told me nothing. I get a call Saturday. Hey, we need you to suit up and we're signing you right now. We play tomorrow. Happy, excited.
For the Titans.
Bro, immediately, 24 hours.
Game time.
First game, guess who I play?
You played the Steelers.
Played Steelers. I played Dobbs.
You played the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin and them, and you did play our teammate Joshua Dobbs.
I played Dobbs, so it was hilarious. So I obviously I went to Milton High School in Georgia. Dobbs went to Alpharetta. It's a rivalry, big game, big rivalry. I never in UT never ever got to touch Dobbs. Never touched him.
Ever.
Never. First play of the game. Almost sacked him. He threw the ball. And we get up just laughing, bro. Just laughing.
Because he crafty, bro.
Yeah, so we out crazy. There preseason laughing. At that time, Ramon Foster was this was his last year retiring. And they out there laughing, shooting the crap. I'm trying to make the team and everything. Finish out this preseason, highest graded linebacker on the team. And did make the 53-man roster still. And it was one of those like snap and clear moments. I was upset, young, but I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know if I wanted to go back to Knox or I wanted back to go home. But I fell in that state of mind of like what I told you about what we're trying to create here. A young guy that been playing football for a long time and it's not looking like it's working out. What's next?
Right.
And or are you gonna bow down or keep pushing?
Right.
So I told myself, I was like, hey, I don't want to do this labor stuff. I got my degree. I'm the first person in my family that graduated and got a degree as a man.
True.
And I want to put it to work. So
that's the bet I want to take.
That's the bet I took. So I worked, and end up trying to go back to Canada to play a little bit, and I end up just focusing on my career. But that 6 months, that year, that season was tough.
Right. Because,
what I'm saying, I would get cut, come back, be working at A.G. Hines. I just saw you on TV, blah, 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 or I saw you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I still got to get a living.
Facts. I gotta pay bills.
you
I
know,
gotta manage
and there was a
life.
certain type of like, no, oh, you're a football player, you can carry more. Man, I'm working just as much as you are. I'm not carrying more pails than you got to or more bricks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a very humbling experience in itself.
Right.
And, it was very emotional for me and it taught me a lot. And based off of what you said, relationships, the people that I was loading up stuff were mostly in the construction world were superintendents. And I was loading their stuff up and they would take it to the job site. And one of the guys that I loaded up consistently ended up working for me at the opportunity that I got with my first construction project management job. Darrow. And he remembered, he was like, I remember you loading up my car with materials. And
Full circle.
I gained his respect off the bat because in construction, it's hard-nosed. Like, you can point out somebody that don't know their craft, they don't know what they're talking about. If they're looking at plans,
100%.
they don't know what they're doing. And your crew is going to respect you if you're going to be able to go on site and get dirty.
True.
And you're not just in the office. But I gained his respect just being off to see what I was going through, football, and being able to load up stuff and being humble.
True.
So
being present in that situation.
Yeah, and it's all about, like you said, relationships, and not even knowing that hindsight a couple months down the road, I was going to be able to meet somebody like that, and he was going to work for me, and we were going to work as a team, being able to price jobs and build.
Right.
So just being able to wrap all that into Snap and Clear, it's all about relationships, and it's all about how you carry yourself and what you want to do at the end of the day.
Right.
And I think we got something going that's really good, in a space that we can allow people that's going through that moment to a safe haven for them to vocalize what they're going through.
True.
Give them assistance on and off the camera. They don't even got to be on the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to chop it up and talk and just say, hey, I'm going through this, I need guidance. It don't look like it's any light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Or, guys that's going through it, they're still playing right now. Like, one of the biggest things, we ain't playing right now. Our body's fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't miss that. Man, it felt like I got hit by a bus at the end of the day.
Hey, some days I do still be feeling bad. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you be like,
Yeah.
But that's just being old. Like, I'm almost 30 now, but you feel me?
Yeah, so it's definitely that piece, and and I want our audience to understand that what our expectations for our podcast and where we want to go with it, and the genuineness for this, because we're doing this for ourselves,
True.
for our peers, and also to give insight on conversations and insight on scenarios and events that's happened that people probably wouldn't be able to hear about, that what our peers want them to know about.
I got you.
Because everything needs to be on the internet.
Facts. Everything does not need to be on the internet. And that was one thing for me. Like, bro, I want to continue to be a resource. And that's the space that I want to create for people, because mental health is real. I've had my own experiences with mental health battles during this period, and it ain't been fun, because I've also felt like I have been doing it alone. You feel me? And trying to find the right avenues to channel different energy, at times, you feel me? Whether that's channeling adrenaline or trying to handle being alone and not being in a team setting, or not really feeling like I have all the resources and tools to be successful in corporate America at the time, or having mentors I feel like I can confine them with my struggles. That's real, you feel me, for everybody. Now I feel like not just athletes. So I feel like that's the community that I feel like I seek, because this was really manifested out of me feeling alone. You feel me? Like, Snap and Clear was like, all right, I want to help somebody, because I was like, I wish somebody would be able to help me through this situation. You feel me? So if I can pour into somebody to help them deal with, whether that's anxiety or depression or anything like that, like, I want to be that resource for them. You feel me? Like I said, I don't have all the answers. I still deal with my own issues myself.
Yeah.
But this like you saying, this is a safe haven for me to be able to pour into, where I can be like, all right, I can be with my mans and be here to politic. We can bring people together, and so we can communicate and be lean on each other. Like, we are stronger together. You know, iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpen another. You know, and that's one of the verses that I always hold on to. You feel me?
I agree with you. Yeah. So I definitely think it's going to be a good time, and I look forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for joining today. Remember to like, share, comment. Appreciate all the love, man. This is going to be amazing. We're really excited about growing this thing.
Yeah. And just make sure if it's anybody out there that's listening or have an opportunity, you always can reach out to us. You know, our social medias will be in the bio down below. And like we said, we're creating a safe haven, a safe space for us to be able to talk. So I really appreciate you guys listening in.